so much. Thank you, Lisa, for having me. And thank you all. Oh, yes, applause. Thank you. Makes me feel excited. Thank you all. I'm so excited to not only be with you all here, but to be joining your community, even if virtually, my new community. And I look forward to getting to know many of you, again, virtually for now, but hopefully in person when everything allows. And as Lisa mentioned, I'm a big embodiment person. I'm big on play and energy. If you can't tell, again, dance is kind of my native language, so I will move. That's just kind of how I work. And so I just really wanted to take this time when we're doing reflections today to, for us to have a little time to be a little selfish today. I want us to take some time to think about our bodies and to create. Right now with the pandemic, with so much racial injustice, killings, things happening in the world, we are taking on so much in our body from a day to day, right? We're working from home. Home is work. The lines are blurred. So home doesn't quite feel home. Work doesn't quite feel like work. Or maybe we're not working at the moment. Maybe we're trying to figure out a new normal at home. Maybe we're spending a little more time with some family members than we had anticipated when the year began. Whatever it may look like. And in that process, sometimes we're trying so hard to be productive that we sometimes leave our bodies and our creativity behind, especially with so much going on. And so I want us to take this time to remember our bodies, remember how important they are, remember how much of a gift they are to have, as well as our creativity and our imagination. Again, sometimes when we're going through these things right now, it's really hard to be creative. It's really hard to have a little hope sometimes right now. And I really just want us to use this space as some resistance to push back and say we can still create even in the midst. We can redefine what productivity means, right? Because as we know, we're all more than what we produce, right? We are so much more than that. We're on this journey. We're people with all these other amazing things. And so I just wanted us to take this time to say that we're worth it. Our bodies are worth it. And we're going to take this time to think about our bodies and to create. So if you all will join me on a journey, we're going to start with a body scan. So I want to ask a quick question. How many of you have checked in with your body in the last week? Just feel free to raise your hand. Okay, I've got some hands. Okay. Again, this is not to make you feel guilty at all, I promise. Okay, good. How many of you have created something out of nothing in the last week? Okay, fewer hands. Okay, and that's great. And that's great because that's what we're going to spend this time doing. And I really just wanted you just to think about, sometimes we don't check in with our bodies, and that's okay. And sometimes we do. And so we're just really going to use this time for that. And I love Audre Lorde's quote when she, in Bursts of Light and her other essays, she says, caring for myself is not self-indulgence. It is self-preservation. And that is an act of political warfare. And today, we're going to practice that. So I invite you to first get in a position in which you feel that you can have a few minutes to think about your body. So whatever posture you want to take, if that's sitting, if that's standing, if that's kneeling, if that's laying on the floor, you can take your screen down, whatever you want to do, however is comfortable for you to just kind of get in your body for a minute. I want you to get in whatever position is comfortable. And also know this body scan, even though I'm kind of leading it, it is yours. So if you're a mover, I'm a mover. So when I do a body scan, I do this, but some people would rather have silence and stillness. Whatever you need, go for it. Okay, I'm just going to start from the bottom and work it all the way up to the top. And then we're going to do a little shaking it out. Okay, so everybody just take a deep breath in with me. Deep breath in. Let it out. Lovely. Another deep breath in. Let it out. And one more big deep breath in. And let it out. Wonderful. And if we can just start down with our feet, the heel of your foot, the very bottom. You know, I don't know about you, but I haven't been caring for my feet as much as I probably should lately. So just take some time to take inventory of your feet, the arch, your toes, the heel, the Achilles, just every piece of your foot. Just take a moment to give notice, gently and kindly. Just take notice to whatever is going on right now with your feet. Good. And take a deep breath in. And when you let it out, just send some gratitude down to your feet. Good. And we're going to work our way up. So now we have our ankles and our calf and our shin, all of that together. And again, feel free if you need to move it around, that's fine. If not, maybe you went running and your calves are hurting. Who knows? You can climb some stairs. Just check in kindly and gently and just give it notice. Good. Take a deep breath in and send some gratitude. Good. Now we're going to move up to our knees and our thighs, right? If we're sitting, we might be feeling these in particular. I know in some places it might be a little rainy. And if you're anything like my grandmother, she could tell the weather from her knees. So just take a moment to take some inventory to check in with your body, your knees and your thighs. Be gentle, be kind, and just give notice. Good. Take a deep breath in and send some gratitude to your knees and thighs. Good. Now we're going to move ourselves up to our glutes, minimus, maximus, as well as our hips, flexors, all of that space. Again, if we're sitting, we might feel these in particular. So just take a minute to take some inventory, be kind, be gentle, whatever you feel, it's okay. And just notice. Good. Take a deep breath in and send some gratitude. Those parts happen to do a lot of work these days when we're on Zoom calls. All right, so slowly we're working our way up, and I want to start in the front. So we're going to work our way to our core, right? The core of your being. If you're anything like some of my family members, you know, they've been calling it the COVID circle, the curve, the COVID ring, with whatever we've been doing these days. So just take notice kindly and gently, and take a deep breath in and send some gratitude to that core that keeps us stable. Lovely. And work your way up to our chest. And in particular, when we experience trauma or things happening, this is one of the areas we might take things on. So just give it some special attention, some special notice, kindly and gently. Okay, take a deep breath in and send some gratitude. Lovely, lovely. And now we're just gonna flip over to the back, and I want you to hit the lower back, right? Again, when we're sitting, we might feel this in particular. Again, if you need stillness, that's fine. If you need to move, I'm a mover. Just take notice kindly and gently. Take a deep breath in and send some gratitude to the lower back. Good. Now let's move up to that upper back, which includes your upper back, your shoulders. Again, this is one of those really good places that we hold tension. When things are happening, we might hold a lot right there. You might be surprised how tense you might be. So just take a moment to take notice kindly and gently, and whatever comes up, don't push it away. Just appreciate wherever it is. That's exactly where you are. And take a deep breath in and send some gratitude, let it out. Good, and let's just go down to our arms. So we're gonna go in the arms, the bicep down to the elbow, bicep down to the elbow. Maybe, you know, you lifted it the other day and, you know, maybe you're feeling it just a little bit, and that's okay. Just take a minute to take some inventory, see how you're feeling kindly and gently. Take notice. Good, take a deep breath in and send some gratitude and energy. Good, and now we're moving to our forearm, our wrists, our hands, our fingers, all of those great things. Again, if we're at computers, we might be using these more than we are used to. So just take some inventory kindly and gently. Okay, take a deep breath in and send some gratitude. Good, now we're just gonna move right back up right here to our neck. Again, this is another place that we can kind of sometimes hold things, and just kindly and gently take notice to whatever you're feeling. If you need to move it around. If not, that's fine. Just take notice, whatever you're feeling, kindly and gently. Okay, take a deep breath in, let it out, send that gratitude. Good, and now we're moving up to our face. So this is a lot. We have head, hair, all of the face, the eyes, nose, mouth, all of the things. So just take a minute to take some inventory. check in, move some things around if you need. Kindly and gently just take notice. Good. Take a deep breath in, send some gratitude. Good, good. And just give yourself a little shake, just all over, just a little full body shake. Just to say, hey, you were here. I appreciate you. I'm grateful. And take a deep breath in, let it out. Another deep breath in, let it out. And one more big deep breath in, and just send that gratitude through your body. Let it reverberate. Good, wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hopefully you're feeling a little different, maybe just a little more flexible, a little loose, a little more just excited, a little more just remembering your body, even if it's tense, even if there's things happening in it, even if it made you think about what you're angry about or what you're lamenting. Just to remember to be in our bodies sometimes with so much going on, it can be really important. And our bodies have their own epistemology. I believe our bodies know sometimes when we don't. Our bodies can speak to us and tell us things. And I think it's the importance of making sure that we're listening, that we're hearing, that we're giving our bodies the space that they need, especially right now in these times when we can't necessarily go where we need to go. We can't travel. We can't do all these things when we're experiencing a lot of lament, a lot of loss, when we're experiencing just so much happening, remembering that our bodies are part of this process. When we're doing the work of the divine, we're hands and feet. That's the work, that's doing the things, and remembering that our bodies are a part of it and they need the care that we need to give to them as well. So hopefully in that process, something came to you while you were checking in with your body, whether it was an idea or, hey, I need to check in with my body more, or I need a cup of coffee, or I need to stretch, or, you know, I haven't had a pedicure in some time. Whatever that is to you, it is wonderful and it is enough and it is great. And I want us to think about that now. And I want us to think about our bodies. And I also believe our bodies are sites for theological reflection. I believe the divine is in us and through us and can show up in so many ways. And so we're going to create. So whatever came up for you when you were checking in with your body, whatever may be on your mind now, don't dismiss it. Hold on to it, keep it, and let's create together with it. So find your items. I have a couple things. I honestly, I literally just dug in my bin. I have some tape, different colored tape. Yes, a theology, a biology, yes. I like to say theology of embodiment as well, like just that combination of the inside as well as outside, the flesh too, because that's important, right? The word became flesh as well. So that flesh is important too, yeah. I also have some popsicle sticks. I don't know where these literally is just my bin of random creative items. Feathers. I have a 15-month-old, so that's probably also where a lot of this comes from, and pipe cleaners. So we'll see what we're gonna create. I'm gonna put on some, you know, a little mood music to help us, because I also think music is powerful as well. So we're gonna listen to a little George Benson jazz, little instrumental to give us some motivation while we're creating. And I'm just gonna give us maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And I want you just to create, don't apologize. There is no right or wrong way. Whatever you create is enough, right? And remember, we're redefining productivity, right? It's not just, we're not only what we produce, but we're whatever it is in the moment. So I want us just to take some time, just whatever comes to you, whatever you feel moved to create, I want you just to create. Don't fix it. Don't try to theologize it. Just let it come and let it naturally come from you. So let me open up my app so I can get some Benson on here. Oh yes, we got a Benson. Okay. Oh, this is wonderful. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean, this is my life every other day with a 15-month-old. So thank you for sharing and enjoying. All right, I'm gonna put on some Benson and 5 minutes. Let's create. I'm gonna turn it up a little louder. If it's too loud, feel free to let me know to lower it. We have about 2 more minutes just to check in, so keep creating. All right, and that song is taking us out, bringing us back. Lovely, lovely. So hopefully you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm still creating, but even though we might still be creating, we're just going to take a brief pause. You can, I would get back to it once we're done. Feel free, take the rest of the day. Just create and play some jazz when we're done. Because again, that's enough for the day, right? That's still being productive. That's still giving you what you need in this moment. And so I actually, with our time left, which I think is what, about 10 minutes or so-ish, I would actually love for if anybody would want to share about kind of just the experience of checking in with body, but also with what you created, keeping in mind that I know that we are all good theologians, ministers, pastors, and we can all preach a great sermon. We might all be able to, so if we might keep it brief so that everybody can be able to do a quick share. And I will go first, just, good modeling, right? So I just took some colorful pipe cleaner that I just happen to have. And I have a bunch of these little tapes. And I just kind of did that because I feel like right now everything's really cyclical. It's kind of every day almost feels the same. And I try to do things to disrupt, but I'm finding that in the midst of my days, there is loss, which is, the tape for kind of the, chemical sign that's there, light bulbs, because I'm having really good ideas of creativity around this time, a skyline because I'm missing traveling a lot. Usually the summer for some of us professors is our big travel time. Lots of canceled trips this summer. But then music, some mixtapes here because that's been really helpful for me during this time. So that's kind of what came when I was checking it with my body, just the feeling of all the things that maybe I've lost a little bit, but also the places where I'm getting a lot of joy and insight that I didn't expect to find in myself and in this time. So I'm grateful for that. And I will hold on to this. I'm just gonna put that right there. All right, anyone else care to share? No pressure, maybe a little. I don't know if I can't really see hands, so feel free to, oh, who is that? Feel free to, and say your name when you come on.
So this is Larry.
Hey, Larry.
So I built a
Oh no, I think you're breaking up a little bit, Larry. Ooh, I see blocks.
So two things that I built fell down.
Sounds about right for these times.
So this tower is a metaphor for my body. It's very fragile and easy to fall over.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yet, guess what? It's still standing there, standing strong.
It's still standing for the moment. That's right.
Yes, Larry, I love it. Thank you for sharing. And thanks for playing with some blocks. Yes. I couldn't go steal my 15 months old. He would have got upset with me. Does anyone else want to share?
I was in the mood to use scissors.
Ooh.
Had to move scissors. So I took this piece of paper and cut out, I won't say it's my body, but it's a body. It's got some features. It's wearing clothes, so it's not a naked body. And so colored pencils, scissors. This is what we got.
Hey,
Embodiment. There we go.
literally, I love it.
There's my theological theme, which was actually a big theme in my time at CTS way back in the last century, but we don't need dates. Thank you.
Who needs dates? No one needs dates. No. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Embodiment's a huge part of my theology and my practices as well. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. And I'm appreciating all the creativity right now. You guys are just giving me so much just joy and hope right now in the midst of everything else. Just, we're all resisting right now and I love it. So what else? Anybody else want to share?
First of all, I want to thank you. This is Jeremy. I'm an online student, and I want to thank you so much for this exercise. I didn't actually realize how much I needed this, and how much I have not been in my body, and I don't know where I've been, to be honest. I have no clue.
Trying to survive.
Pretty much. I've been caught in this realm of angst and anxiety and fear, and that music brought me back to a time in my life when I was much younger. That was a really happy time for me. And so that right there got me in that space. And I realized I didn't have any really besides a couple of colored pens in my house. It's very telling that I have let creativity go. I don't have the supplies for that. And that's going to be something I'm going to fix. And all I kept hearing was this mantra keeps going, like, I just feel like I'm not okay. I'm not okay. And I kept hearing over from someplace else, God, divine, I don't know, my neighbors, I'm not sure where, but it's like, I'm okay. Like, that's a lie. I'm okay. So that's all I just kept coming up with is I'm okay. I'm okay. And so thank you for this reset.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being a part and being open to it. You know, every now and then we just need to remember that, hey, caring for ourselves and remembering our bodies is just as important as being in a classroom, just as important as anything else we do. So thank you for that. I'm grateful. And yes, get some supplies. You'd be surprised what you just randomly start having lying around. Anyone else want to share? No pressure, all the pressure. No, I'm just...
This is Mark Winters. Hi, welcome to CTS, Lakisha, fellow Eagle. I graduated from BC in '99, so welcome. I had no idea what I was doing, so I just grabbed my lunch bag and a pair of scissors, and I made this. I don't know what it is. After Lisa's crack about cutting my hair, maybe I should use it as a wig. I don't know, but
I think that would work. I mean, that's...
There you go. I feel like a judge, but anyway, I have a tendency to overthink, so sometimes it's good to not think too much about things and just go.
Absolutely.
So thank you for this time.
No, absolutely. And thank you for sharing. And hey, if whether it's a wig, whether it's anything, I guarantee you more than anything, it's just going to be a reminder to you when you see it to say, hey, let me just take a little minute. Let me just play a little bit. That's awesome. That is really cool that you created that. I think it's great. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Someone said a CTS grad who overthinks.
Hi, this is Charles Skinner.
Hi, Charles.
And I worked for Peace a long time before I went to CTS. And at CTS, I continued that process, and I have since then. And in the process, I've created a book called Creating Global Peace and Sustainability. And this is an image that I use for that. The more we all work for peace, the more peace there is for all.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank
You're
you for sharing.
welcome.
Informative. That's awesome. The more we are. That's really cool. Thank you.
Someone else?
Thank you, Charles. Jump in. The water's warm, folks. It's wonderful.
Well, I'd be happy to share. So I'm Najiba. I'm also just joining the faculty. I'm so delighted to be here with you and such a wonderful group. So I actually just ended up writing a poem, but I will just read you one line or two because that's my creative outlet. So it says, dreaming of a time alone when it is by choice and not by necessity, when solitude is a gift, not a safety measure, when the ascetic in me meets God, hands open, heart unwrapped, I miss the ecstasy of union with the undivided one.
That's beautiful. Thank you. My spirit felt that, especially that first line or two. The solitude. Yeah, that my spirit felt that one.
Thank you for the prompts. It was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful. Anyone else want to share? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to follow up Najiba, but you know, feel free. It's the open space. I see Lisa. Did you have your screen open?
Sure, I'll share. So when we were doing the body check-in and we started with the feet, I recently became a grandmother. So I have a 6-week-old grandbaby. I know, she's the most wonderful thing, and I was able to be there for her birth and her first couple of weeks of life. And tomorrow I'm heading back down to North Carolina to see her again. But as we were doing the check-in on the feet, I just had this strong image of like the size of her feet compared to mine and almost her feet in mine. And then the thought of our feet journeying together through life and how beautiful that is. And so I made a little, I don't know if this will show up, but there's a little couple of her feet in my feet inside a heart, sort of a thing. But yeah, it was just a beautiful, and just also thinking too about like the fact that once upon a time, my feet were that big and those same feet are still mine. And I love that. I love always remembering that, you know, I've grown and changed, but these are the same feet, you know, that my grandma kissed when I was a baby. So that was my thought.
That is beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Tell the mother of a 15-month-old things like that, because then I'm already getting like a little emotional because I'm like, his little feet, I just want to bite him. And anyway, thank you. I feel you. I'm there. But that's beautiful, and congratulations on becoming a grandmother. That's what a gift. What a gift. Thank you. And I know our time is how much time do we have about left, Lisa? I want to make sure I'm honoring that.
We don't have a lot of announcements today, so if folks want to keep sharing, we can keep sharing. I've got a few things to close us out at the end, but yeah.
So how about this? Lisa, you just chime in when we need to wrap up. Just let us know when we need to finish. Okay.
Okay.
I was just going to say that I had to go and retrieve some materials to work with. And I found one of those, you know, horrendous, you know, very complicated coloring book kind of things. And the box of 24, you know, colored pencils that they gave me to work with it. And I'm realizing 24 colors aren't anywhere near enough. I already need more blues, more greens, more shades, more nuance. I don't color very often. It's not my thing. I'm not very good at that stuff, but yeah, I need to go out and find a bigger box of crayons, so to speak. So thank you. That's good.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's wonderful. I think we all should have just a bin, just lying around all the time with just all kinds of things that we can just bust out at a moment's notice, right? Like I think it was a Brigham Young study that talked about those who create and imagine are actually 20% more productive in life. Right?
Well, the only other stuff around is all my mask making stuff. So that's not creative anymore. That's just your desperation. Get the line straight, just get the thing made.
Well, I think it's wonderful. I think we all just have all the stuff. And the thing is, sometimes you just use the ordinary things of life. Like we can still do things like a sheet, a pillowcase. We could do all kinds of things. So thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate it. We can all widen our toolbox, and we can always also just use whatever we have. Because as I think it was Jeremy, we're all just trying to survive right now. And that's real. Anybody else want to share?
I can do one. My sense of creativity is different. I didn't draw any, I tried to draw a picture, but what I've been creating, and I feel so immersed in, with the holy shining down on the creation, as I work on trying to figure out how to serve low-income people in Metro Denver through the housing project I'm working on. And I just could imagine my team celebrating stuff with the kids that we try to work with as we go forward. So that's where my head went in the course of what are you trying to create?
Well, that's helpful. Thank you. And of course, you know, as a good practical theologian, right, and religious educator, this is also a practice to go and take and use, right? Go, if you're, maybe you're working with another group or you're working with young people or you're doing ministry, check in with bodies. What would it mean to have a sermon where you are just being creative and you say, let's create something together? And then whenever we come together, we can bring it together, right? What would it mean to use these spaces to do more of that, right? Like everything we do teaches, everything we do can say something, everything we do can reach and can be practical. And so what does it mean to make sure that those you're in community with also have space to remember their bodies? That those you're in community with also have this kind of space to create that we don't often give ourselves. It can be really powerful. It can be really liberating, especially right now for many people of color. It can be resisting. It can be a really great tool right now, just for so many reasons, for so many things happening in the world. It can be an act of lament. It can be an act of joy. It can be so many things. And so what does it mean to make that kind of space for other people, I think is really powerful as well. Does anybody else want to share before our time is, you know?
Yes, I'm Blessington from Virginia Union. And we are in the most special times of this history where we don't know what's next. So this looks like a question mark. And that leads to, like when we do that and then open it up, it leads to this. So that makes it a heart. And then this is where we were when we heard that Dr. Lockhart is moving out of Virginia Union. Then now we know like where she is at CTS. So it opens up this way, and then you can see both the names like SGVU and CTS on each side of this heart. So you can put anything on that. It's like teaching from the heart, if you all have come across Dr. Mary Elizabeth Moore. So this is the core of the teaching from the heart. And we all have seen like how Rob expressed about like thinking from like your thoughts to your actions, and writing poems is what I did in one of my first classes with Dr. Lockhart. So that's where you all can go and enjoy.
Thank you, Blessington. It's a joy to see you on here and trying to pull at my heartstrings. Gosh, come on. No, but thank you. I'm grateful for that. And I appreciate that image too. I would tell you to send it to me, but you know, we're in pandemic times. But if I happen to see you and you hold on to that, I would actually keep it and put it in my desk. Thank you. All right. Anyone else want to share? No.
Hi, Dr. Lockhart. Welcome to CTS. I'm in student life here. And so when you were talking about body, like touching base with your body, I realized how hungry I was, and I had to just head to the kitchen because that was just, you know, important at that moment. And so then when I have some color pencils and I just put together, like I just put some soothing colors together. And at first I was trying to think of, oh, what can I draw? But I was like, oh, I don't want to think about something to draw. So I just, you know, started doing some colors. And I have a young 3-year-old as well. And I see her just filling up papers with crayons. And like, I was just like, oh, you know, kids, whatever. But I just felt like I really kind of connected with her and like how good that feels just to like make color and I don't know, just let it soothe my eyes a little bit. Looking at screens all the time right now, working from home, it just is a different color palette that felt really good to look at. Thank you for your presentation.
No, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. And I think it's so interesting. I feel like so often when we're kids, we do a lot of these things, but when we become adults, we have to be responsible, in charge, right? We have to pay the bills and we have to do all of that, but it's still part of who we are. We were created by a creative creator to create. Say that 5 times fast. I probably can't even say that again without stumbling. But so what does it mean to give ourselves that space? And even as adults, again, 20% more productive, actually better problem solvers because you think more creatively, more imaginatively, but to give ourselves the permission and the space to say, this is just as important as a training, right? Because you're training your mind, you're training your body, you're working out these different ways, these different modalities in your mind, right? This theology of embodiment, theology of biology. There's so many places that we can work out of. And it's that epistemology. Our body knows things. What does it mean to listen, to give it space, to remember that it is part of this journey, not just the mind, not just the heart, but the body is a part of this journey too. And to give it space, let it breathe, let it, create and breathe new life, even as adults. No matter how old we get, no matter how young we are, there's always space for creativity and play, and it will make us better. I mean, I just feel like you breathe differently after you pray. You're just like, ooh, that felt good after a while. So just give yourself permission and space to just play and be creative sometimes, and let that be enough, and let that be okay. And don't try to judge it or make it pretty, put a bow on it. Just let it be whatever it is, and I guarantee you it'll be exactly what you need in that moment. I truly believe that. Anything else? I know our time is again winding. I'm sure Lisa's gonna reel us in soon. So anybody else that wants to share? No? Okay, no pressure. I'm also the advocate of when we're done, we're done. Thank you guys for having me. I know Lisa's gonna do some announcements, but I'm beyond grateful again to be a part of this community. I can't wait to actually be there in person and to, the feel stuff, the tangible, to be in spaces together and cultivate and create spaces and co-create together. Thank you all for being on this journey. I know this probably isn't maybe the norm reflection that you might get on a Wednesday, but I think sometimes we have to disrupt the space so that we can remember and come back to our bodies, and remember to create. You all created some amazing things. Hold on to that. Keep that going. Try to check in again soon. Thank you. And blessings to all of you as you continue your day and your journey.